the PDF, download it now at www.nijayacademy.com. Click on Digital Products. Select the product you want to download. Click on Buy Now and complete the payment to get full access.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Nijay Academy. I hope you're doing good. So every Thursday, we have this habit of going through NCERTs. So even today we'll be going through NCERT shorts. So today I'll be going through class 6, chapter 7 NCERT. As I have already stated in the earlier classes as well, or in the earlier videos, this is not a replacement for your NCERTs, but consider it as a complementary part. That means read your NCERTs, after that go through this video. You'll be done. You don't have to worry about anything else. Or you can go through this video when your exams are nearby, so that this will act as a revision for your examination. These videos are very short and you can go through them by going through 2x or 1.5x speed. So let's start with chapter 7. So the first point is that Vedas, they were recited orally. They were not written down. Right now, you know that you have seen Vedas being written on various leaves. But earlier, Vedas were not written down. They were recited orally. That means they have been coming across generations through oral means itself. It is right now, recently, that we have written down Vedas. Earlier, this was not at all written down, but it was transferred orally. Next, we have some of the mantras of Vedas. Particularly the last mantras of Rig Veda. They talk about unity among the people even when there is diversity. Next, we have certain parts of Vedas, which we call them as Upanishads. Now, these Upanishads introduced new concepts, Which are those concepts? First is the concept of Atma, that means I, me and myself, Second is the concept of rebirth, that means I'll take birth again and again and again, in various forms probably. And third is the concept of karma, that means if I do good to others, good things will happen to me. If I do bad to others, bad things will happen to me. So these are some of the concepts that have been introduced by Upanishads. Next, there are various stories that have been mentioned in Upanishads. There are various Upanishads. Among them, some of the stories are mentioned in some Upanishads. Now, what is your work here? You are supposed to remember these Upanishads and the story associated with them. First is the story of Shvetaketu. It is associated with the Upanishad called as Chandogya Upanishad. Next is the story of Yama and Nachiketa. Debate between Yama and Nachiketa. Now that is mentioned in Kathopanishad. And at the end you have a debate between Gargi and Yajnavalkya. It is mentioned in your Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So please do remember these Upanishads. There is a possibility that the examiner might directly hit this particular point. Next, we have certain concepts from Jaina tradition. The word Jaina itself comes from a root word called as Jina. Jina means conqueror. Here, conqueror does not mean that he is conquering the entire world. Conqueror here means conquering oneself or control over one's own emotions, control over one's own thoughts, control over one's own your indriyas, or in other words, senses. Right. Next, we have another term from Jaina tradition itself called as Anekantavada. That means truth has many faces to it. Or there are many truths. Right. Or there are many aspects to a particular truth. Right. We only see what we want to see, is what they are trying to say here. Next, we have aparigraha. Right. What does aparigraha mean? That means not accumulation of wealth. That means no possession itself. Right. That means detachment from the material wealth. Right. Why? Because at the end, when we go from this particular body, when we reach death, right, we are not even taking this particular body with us. So what they are trying to say is, don't get attached to anything. Right. So this is the concept of aparigraha. So next we have the concept of panels. So there are various panels that have been inscribed on various stupas. One of those panels includes the story of Monkey King. Now this story of Monkey King has been inscribed on a stupa called as Barhut Stupa. Now it is your work to go through Google and comment in the comment section box below as to where this particular stupa is present. It is present in India only, but where in India? Please do mention it down below. Now recently, just 2 points earlier, we studied about aparigraha, where we said that we should not get attached to anything. Right? But here is another school of thought, called as Lokayata, initiated by a person called as Charvaka. They believe that material world is the only thing that exists. That means there is no life after death. So enjoy as much as you want is what they're saying. Okay. So there are two contradictions here itself. One is the aparigraha, that means there should be no possession, whereas Charvaka says enjoy as much as you want. Want to get attached to material wealth, get attached. Do whatever you want. Right. So there are various such thoughts. Next is the Constitution of India uses the term tribes and tribal communities, okay, for various tribes in India in English, whereas Janajati is the word that is being used for tribes in Hindi. Okay, so these two words are mentioned in the Constitution. Okay, recently there have been many questions as to whether this particular word is used in the Constitution or not. Okay, so please do remember that the word tribes, tribal communities, and Janajati have been used for various tribes. Okay, and as per the census of 2011, okay, there are 705 tribes in India. Okay, the 2021 census is yet to commence, but the 2011 census has given us data that there are 705 tribes here. Okay, particularly in India. Next, there are certain tribal regions, okay, in Tamil Nadu, and the tribes that are present there are called as Todas, okay, and they worship the mountains, okay, particularly the Nilgiri mountains, right? Next, we have certain tribes in Arunachal Pradesh. They worship Donyi Polo, okay. Now, what is this Donyi Polo? It is an amalgamation of sun and moon god, okay. And certain tribes of central India, particularly the Munda and the Santal tribe, okay, they worship Singh Bonga, okay, which is nothing but sun god. So this is very, very simple thing. You don't have to worry about much of with respect to these things. Next, let us move on to chapter 8. So there was a particular printed cotton cloth in India called as chintz. Okay, please do remember it. This point is not that important, so I'm skipping it. Next is there is a movement, okay, called as Shivaganga movement, okay, associated with the Halma tradition, okay, particularly in the Bil and Bilala tribes, okay. So there is something called as Shivaganga movement associated with Halma tradition. Now, which particular tribes are associated with it? Bil and the Bilala tribes. Okay. Now, what do they do? This is afforestation and water management program. Okay. Or in other words, it is a practice of those tribes. Okay. Where they undergo or where they involve themselves in afforestation as well as water conservation. Now, how do they do it? By digging trenches and pits. It is very, very simple. Okay. So I hope this is understood by you. Now let us go through this particular map here. Okay, very, very interesting map, right? So first in the northern part of India, particularly in the Jammu Kashmir region, okay, here you can see Shishur Senkarat, right? Near Punjab and other associated regions, you have they call it as Maghi or Lohri, and in the northeastern part they call it as Mag Bihu. Okay. Now, if you come towards the Uttar Pradesh and Bihar region, they call it as Khichdi Parv. Okay. Near your West Bengal, okay, they call it as Paush Songkranti. Okay. Next, near Odisha, they call it as Makar Sankranti. Okay. Next, coming to Andhra Pradesh here, right? Andhra Pradesh and Telangana region particularly, they call it as Pedda Panduga. Okay. And near Tamil Nadu, it's very, very common. They call it as Pongal, right? And in Kerala, they call it as Makara Vilakku, right? Karnataka, they call it as Makara Sankranti. Maharashtra, Makara Sankranti. And in Gujarat, they call it as Uttarayan. Okay. Whereas in the central part of India, they call it as again Makara Sankranti. Okay. So the names are very, very similar. Okay. The festival of Sankranti, okay, is celebrated across India, but it has various names associated with it. Okay. So this you can use as an example while showing diversity even when there is unity. Okay, right. So this is what we are supposed to study with respect to chapter 7, 8 and chapter 9. Okay. So in the next class or in the next week, we'll be covering chapter 10. Okay. So till next time, take care. Tata. Bye bye.